Does it show live on your screen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to World Hoppers, a collaborative channel where we donate all of the AdSense revenue and merch sales to charity. And so today, since it is somehow already December 2021, we're looking back on the books this year, the ones that we anticipated, and did they really live up to our expectations? Did we even get to them? General questions, but we do have some new faces, so we can go around and introduce ourselves, say, your channel, what you read, what you do over there. So, Ingrid, this way.
All right. My name is Ingrid. My channel is Ingrid Inspired. I have a small channel I started recently, and I read pretty much everything, honestly, except for like self-help books. I don't like that kind of stuff. But other than that, I'm open to everything else.
My name's Alyssa. I guess we're going this way, right? My name's Alyssa. I'm Nerdy Nurse Reads here on YouTube, Instagram, like everywhere except for Twitter because there's a character limit. So I'm Nerdy Reads there. I read everything. I also have a podcast called TBR Lowdown that I do with my really good girlfriend, Naomi. And the whole point is to try to get people to read more diversely in every way possible and to just talk about how great books are in general. So, yeah. I think Monet, you're up. Oh, there's a little one. There's a baby.
I am Monet from the channel Life is Monet, and I mostly read adult fantasy and YA sci-fi.
Monet, why are you lying? You've been reading some romance.
Dude, yeah.
Monet always lying, child.
That's fantasy, but sometimes I throw in other genres for a little razzle dazzle.
I'm just excited because I saw a tiny baby. That made me happy. Hi, little baby. You don't have to bring up baby if you don't want to, but hi, baby.
She's chilling with me.
Okay.
Speaking of Monet, I just bought A Fate of Wrath and Flame because of you.
For a fantastic time.
I'm ready.
Monet will sell you on a book, okay?
I know.
But they recently read it and they gave it 4.5 stars, so it's working out for people.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm from the channel Stephanie Bookish. I read pretty much anything and everything, but I normally read fantasy, whether it's YA or adult, but I've been kind of getting out of YA a little bit because it's been super disappointing this year, but I'll read anything.
Hi, I'm Erin. My channel is Booked and Busy. I read primarily adult SFF, but I read a lot of romance and a little bit of everything. On my channel, you can find right now Vlogmas content, but like lots of reading blogs and challenge type videos. So
We love to see it. I don't know how you do weekly vlogs. I'd be like, oh, I start so many vlogs and then
I'm a queen of starting a vlog that never sees the light of day.
yes,
There's so much dead footage in my drive. It's
see, I have
every time I go through
Monet.
to clean it, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't post that one.
Yeah.
I've enrolled Monet in my content management plan, and things have been on the up since then. People have been getting 2 videos a week.
Literally, my people are looking for the content, and it's all due to Erin. Otherwise, they'd be hungry this holiday season. It would be sad.
Amen. Amen. We love to see it.
The only reason why the podcast is even like remotely consistent is because Naomi just drives my ass hard. She drives my ass like she had me going for like hours yesterday, and I have another day on Sunday. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got 30 minutes, and she needs me back. I gotta get some water and come back upstairs.
Yeah, it's people on Vlogmas. I'm like, I'm happy for me, but I could not do it.
It's good on the receiving end though, because I had like 18 different uploads today, and I was like, yes. I'm like all day long I have videos to watch.
Eating. But so this, I don't know, over to start your overall feelings. I don't know if everyone, I know some of you have newer channels. I did anticipated release videos last year, beginning of the year, and I was looking back and trying to kind of looking back to see were they successful, like the books? And my overall feelings were like for the majority of the books that I had on my list. I don't know if y'all have overall thoughts, like overwhelmingly successful, all of the books that you got to, you're anticipating, a lot of disappointments. Did you read any of them? Just general look. I'm calling myself out with some of these questions, don't worry.
I'm real good about supporting the economy. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Shout things out.
Go ahead, Erin.
Like I was saying, I'm real good about supporting the economy and keeping authors' lights on. You know,
Yes.
so I bought all my anticipated releases. Have I read them? Probably not. I read a couple, maybe a few, and most of those were disappointing. So their bills won't be getting paid in 2022. But a couple, like 2 or 3, were like it.
That's how I felt too. I went back and looked, and I read less than half, and only a few were like yes, and the rest were like so
the ones I asked for as arcs were really disappointing, actually, except for like 1 or 2, and then I have a couple that I'm almost scared to read, and I haven't read them yet because if they suck, I'm gonna be so unhappy.
Well, if one of them is Jade Legacy, 4 out of 5 of us can confirm that it's a hit.
It's not that, because I still have to start with the beginning. I bought the first one. It's sitting there, Jade City. I'm looking at it. It's right there. She's staring at me.
Earlier.
She's right there. Don't spoil anything, Monet.
Oh, Monet is good for spoilers too.
I assume that everyone has already read at least book 1. At least.
Next time we're together, Monet, just give me a list of books you would like me to have read at least the first book of, and I will do my homework list.
When I talk to my friends, I expect us to all be on one accord, one band, one sound.
One band.
For me, my arcs were really good this year, but for some reason, I only have like maybe 3 YA books that were good. The YA was not very good this year. And then a lot of the adult fantasy books that I was looking forward to came out at like 3-4 star averages, which isn't bad. But I was anticipating them, hoping that they would be 5-star reads. And so it was a little annoying to have to keep giving out 3 stars. But yeah, the YA definitely, I want to fight some of these YA authors because during COVID, what were you doing? What were you doing? No.
So I didn't have like a video per se because I did start making videos at the beginning of the year, but like I privated all those videos because they were terrible. But I do have a couple, like some books that I was definitely anticipating and they were okay. And then there was like one that was terrible and I DNF'd. And then I didn't read a couple, but so.
Yeah, I made an anticipated releases, but I think I was trying to do it like 3 months at a time, and then I gave up making those videos because I read most of the books from that, and I was disappointed by almost all of them except for a handful. So I just gave up halfway through the year on my anticipated releases. I said no thanks, and I just moved on. So
can we talk about the how bad YA fantasy has been this year?
I
like
mean,
in general, I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting older or if it was a bad year.
It was
I think both. I think quality control.
Quality control's missing.
The debut authors that I read this year, all 5 stars. It was
debut authors have been killing it.
Because they have bills to pay.
Across the board, they've been killing it.
That's why they got to earn those advances.
Amazing.
Well, this is perfect for right here. So what books specifically
were disappointing?
Well, I mean, we can start there and then with that, whatever else you want to add in.
Across the Green Grass Fields was the first one to disappoint me this year, for sure. Which is like book 6 or 7 in the Wayward
children series. Yeah, book 6.
That one, A Court of Silver Flames disappointed me.
Oh no! I was just there for Winged Smut, and I really wanted it. I'm waiting for Az to have his book. I want shadow sex, and I just need that.
Look at Dustin's face.
It was that.
It was smutty,
and that's all I expect. That's it. Nothing else. I don't need literary gold.
Just like everybody looks for Sarah J. Maas or read her books for smut, and I'm like, I must be the only person that expected some type, just a little substance.
See, you're going in with the wrong expectations.
I mean,
You
with a book
go
that's
in.
800 pages, there's only so much smut you can have.
But I mean, like, in the
Have
first
you
book,
seen
had a
Den of
whole
Vipers?
war.
It's like 700 pages. At some point, somebody was still kidnapped, and I was like, "How is?"
But
I was
I
like,
don't
"Oh, this
think
book is done."
Den
And I
of
was like,
Vipers-
"Shit,
Oh,
there's
but
another
that's
100
like
pages."
a reverse
$29.
harem, right? I think I read
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's like heavy. Like they should have a warning at the beginning of the book.
I remember Jesus came in, my boyfriend came in, and I was like, "Let me just tell you what I'm reading." He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" So many things.
I have like my list pulled up and like off to the side of like all of my favorite releases and the ones that I read. Like The Heart Principle, horribly disappointing. I will never. I don't think I'll ever read from her again. That's how bad it was. I was like,
Really?
Monet.
I'm the queen of. I will never read from this author. I'm the queen of that. But
and I'm forgiving. I will give you 2 stars.
Very
Like, you know what? I'll
forgiving.
try it again. But so for me to be like, you know what? All of my dollars and cents are staying in my pocket. I waited 3 years for
Dang,
that.
Helen.
Hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Helen
Haven't-
catch me outside.
I think the one that drove me the most insane was the ones we're meant to find, because I wanted it to be good.
Oh
If
my
we're in like
God.
sci-fi fantasy, I wanted it to be good, and
I
like
haven't gotten to
everybody
that
was
one
like,
yet.
I love, like I had the, it was
No.
like
Beautiful
just-
gowns. Beautiful
I
gowns.
felt like I kept hearing people shouting how good it was, and I'm reading it. I'm like, where? Just what am I not seeing?
Yeah, that
And-
book was bad.
The
I
sister,
didn't like
the
it. Really,
sister
really
on the island was
predictable.
the best part of that book, and if they could have just stayed there and done something with that, I would have been fine. But that whole other sister storyline, stupid. I didn't like it.
And then
I ordered that book, and it was supposed to be delivered. And I was sitting there thinking about all the YA books that have just gotten me with beautiful covers that ended up.
Mhm.
And then I looked at that order again, and I said, I feel like this one's gonna be one of those. So I just because I'm like, YA books will get you with a beautiful
These
cover.
covers
Mhm.
is disrespectful. I'm
And
sorry.
that's
Yeah,
I
best
had-
covers. Like if you talk about the covers that came out this year was
top tier.
beautiful. It was a beautiful. The graphics design department should get a raise. But
I want them to stop
the
making
editors-
covers. I just need I need the book on its own.
And that's why Monet would tell you my shelf is full with ugly covers because I don't care because the story on the inside is so bad.
It's
Damn
ugly
good.
covers. Ugly. She's like, you have to read this book. Not with that cover. You better.
I know Monet is like, can sci-fi please do better with these covers? And I'm like, I mean, they ain't all bad. Sci-fi
I had to flip
covers.
the books to Monet. I had to pitch her the whole book and then show her the cover. I literally did this yesterday. I said, let me tell you what it's about. And she said, okay, I'm interested. And I held it up and she was like, I guess I added to Goodreads.
Monet, how do you feel about the old cheesy fantasy covers? You know, like with the cartoon, and I probably have one somewhere.
Like the Wheel of Time covers?
Yeah, like the old Wheel of
Wheel
Time
of Time.
covers.
I like the old.
read not one of them. Haven't
I
read
love those covers.
I love those covers so much. I will buy the shittiest ass old raggedy book if it has one of those covers on it.
They are a product of their time. I'm not a product of that time. So me, but I love that for y'all.
I love that. It's all part of my journey. Okay.
That's a mess.
Listen, when you start getting into the
Did any
obscure
of you
fantasy titles with the boring covers and a little dry name, that's when you're going to find some hits.
Yeah, that's gonna slap. That's 100% gonna slap.
When
A
it's
big
just
weapon on the cover.
a stock image.
You
Big
know what
bold
kind of
name.
is like one character looking out into yonder, like with the mountain.
Mhm.
Those are the books that got me.
Yeah.
Like, they're standing on a hill with a sword, and
Yeah.
something about it just feels enticing, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm gonna-
There is something just about a sword that just makes you. I don't know.
I mean, it's
Weapons
just
on covers give
quintessential.
me every time.
Get me.
Because
What
I
does it
assume
say
violence
about
is
us?
okay.
I read The Crown of Gilded Bones, which is book 3 in the Blood and Ash series. Terrible.
I haven't read it
DNF'd
because I'm scared because everyone keeps saying that.
It's
I've heard
horrible.
it's
Honestly, awful.
You know
And I
what?
got like more than halfway into it, so it wasn't like I didn't DNF at like 30 pages in. It was just like terrible.
That book was so bad. I felt bad for the trees. Like I died
Seriously, like
for this book.
you're like, oh my god, what did
You
I
were
do?
sacrificed for
I'm the
this.
minority of people who didn't like From Blood and Ash, and like that was the only book that I've read from Armentrout, and from that book, she's now on the list of authors that I will never read again.
Yeah,
But I love From Blood and Ash. I had such
that
a
one
great
wasn't
time.
so bad.
Mm-mm.
I liked the first and second
I've
one.
seen the threads of misery that she was and I said no.
I didn't read. That does not sound like my cup of tea, so I didn't even.
No,
Have
don't even
any
bother.
of you read Rule of Wolves?
Yes.
Because that was on my
so
list for
bad.
this year, and then it
I
kept
love
coming
that
in from the
book.
library, and I was like, nah.
Fans of Nikolai. You probably read it for Nikolai. You went in it. We went.
I still
into the
haven't even
wrong
read
mindset.
King of Scars, and I have both of
Me
them in
neither.
like
Because it was
special
supposed to
edition
be
Barnes and
about
Noble
Nikolai.
editions or whatever. And I'm like,
Nikolai was not the main character of that.
Don't spoil
story.
it, Monet.
I'm not.
I'm spoiling it. I'll eventually get there at some point, but I'm not. It's not high on my list.
Mythology doesn't mean that like he's the hero. You wanted him to carry the story, and that's unfortunate for you.
But Lee, that's how she pitched it at first. It's her fault. She set
Oh,
us
the
up.
authors be lying.
Yeah,
Y'all
she
remember
did.
Ellie was a
They
romance
tricked
between a
us
woman
to
and
sell the
devil.
books.
Yeah.
A romance. I know so many people said that, and I was like, tis not.
They're tricksters.
But what's crazy is that y'all watched Nikolai struggle for all them books, and y'all thought that at the end he was gonna overcome what? No, it was never gonna be.
Don't do
Never
it.
gonna be.
Do
Alina
not.
wouldn't even
Okay.
marry him. It's a no. He was just down bad.
Lee just she
Poor
ain't had to do me
Nikolai.
like that.
But I had a great time.
I did any like other YA books that were disappointing for me that were like became on my radar for like the second half of the year were White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson.
Oh yeah,
and
you
Ace
really
of-
didn't like White Smoke.
Me
and Ace of Spades.
You
I
didn't
was-
like Ace of Spades?
I
Tiffany
didn't.
D. Jackson would
either.
never see a dollar from me.
That
I've
is
never read anything from her.
sacrilegious. Like
And
Ace of Spades.
I liked it. I didn't love Ace of Spades. What did you said? Tiffany D. Jackson will never see.
she would never see one of my dollars.
Oh no, why
It's something
not?
about the way she hold her lips that just don't sit right with me. And I just can't do it.
That's
sounds
crazy.
horrible, but
I
I'm
own every
so
book she's
serious.
ever written. Haven't read a single one. She keeps getting my money, and I've never read a book.
Sorry, Monet will make up for you. She'll just buy them and not read them.
Reading them, but
You want to
No one's reading them.
that
Not
black
hold
woman
her lip,
can't get
Lord.
lobster because of me, and I've never read anything. So
I liked Monday's Never Coming. I didn't love Grown. And then White Smoke sounded really promising before I realized I was sick of hearing books compared to Get Out. And now I'm sick of it. But I
I'm
just
just
was
kind
like,
of sick of her saying I want to get high and like it's cool, like get high, like there's nothing
You
wrong
need
with getting high,
therapy.
but like
you
I
need
was like, I
therapy.
feel like there were other ways to have that you could have said it differently.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah, it
only
was very
that,
repetitive.
but not only of that, there was like a whole line or a whole thread of how people were being put into jail because of petty drug crimes. But then the main character was vilified by her own parents and people in her life because she wanted to smoke weed when she needed therapy. And people were just like, you're a drug addict, instead of being like, maybe you should get some therapy.
Also,
That tracks for the black
just shut
family
up and
dynamic.
smoke weed if you want to smoke weed. Like,
Not gonna lie. The whole sentence makes perfect sense.
one YA
Tiffany
that I didn't
tried to do
read,
too much.
that people didn't like was the Ray Bear sequel. I've heard bad things. about
Really?
it. Yeah.
Oh, I
Ray Bear
haven't.
itself wasn't the hit that people claim, and that cover was horrendous.
the UK cover is beautiful.
Wait, what book? I missed it.
Ray Bear, and
Bear.
then whatever the second one is.
I've heard nothing but bad things about the
That
sequel.
cover is ugly.
The US covers
Ugly.
are disgusting. I don't know who made those. I don't like them.
It's
They're
a
like
graphic
some
designer
80s
screw up.
Technicolor weirdo.
Wow, this is
thing.
tea. I've heard nothing but good
But I
things
haven't heard.
about
I've never heard
But it was
anything
better
bad
than
about
Legendborn.
the inside of the book.
Let's
Did
not.
you say something bad about
I hate
Legendborn?
Please
Legendborn,
don't
so
get
don't
us
get me
started
started.
on Legendborn.
I
We don't
hate
have
that
time.
book.
We don't have the time for
I
Legendborn.
did not.
Does everybody hate
so-
Legendborn?
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
so
not.
sorry.
Legendborn.
Bother?
I knew to keep my coins in my coin purse.
I'm sending it to Monet so she can read it, so she can suffer with me.
I enjoyed it.
Was it really bad?
I'll just shut up and sit in
It
my
was-
little corner. Baby's gonna sit
It
in
was
the corner.
horrible.
Was it?
I've heard bad
no.
things about Legendborn, Wings of Ebony or Wings of something. I've heard bad.
Oh, I thought people didn't like that one. I thought that was kind of like boring, but I haven't read it. I
I've
feel like
given up.
there were some people that were reading it
I
in like
want to
my
support these
sphere.
people, but I
Mhm.
can't.
No,
I
it's
decided
super.
to support Roseanne. I don't know if I'm gonna ever read that book, but I bought the duology. I said, I got you, my good sis. I got you.
Here's
I
my
can-
point.
The
Oh.
Witches Steeped in Gold just got me. Like I really thought it was gonna be so good. It kept like
That
getting me, and I would be
cover,
interested,
man.
and then I would zone out for 100 pages because it got really boring, and I was like,
100.
"Damn,
It's not even that long.
it's a chunky. It's chunky."
I'm saying if
I-
you're zoning out for hundreds of pages, like,
It was a book club pick. I was trying to be good. I finished
Yeah.
it.
They're just not the Y, and it's not because I can't read YA, but just the newer writers, they're not writing for me. I
Do you
don't
know
know.
which
There's
one?
something.
Well, I thought I
Just
was.
jacked up, and I don't know if anybody read it. Was Master of One. Did anybody even see that book?
I've
it's
seen
different
it.
fairy
It was supposed to be this. I
Like the
thought it was,
silver cover, right?
yeah, and it was like
Master of One.
chunky, and it was
It's
supposed to be
silver,
this like
yeah.
queer kind of heist story, and it was terrible.
Oh, I haven't seen that cover.
Me neither.
It started out like it was going to be good, and then it just fell off a cliff. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Well, I thought I was crazy because I didn't like Legendborn and I didn't like Ace of Spades very much. And everybody on book Twitter, on BookTube, always talks about how much they love both of those books. And I'm like,
did like
there's
Ace of
something wrong
Spades.
with me.
I'm gonna do a whole video essay on what's wrong with
Everybody loved From Blood and Ash, and I sit on my hill that book was terrible, and I will die up here alone.
I support you, Aaron. I look forward to that video because I also I had a video. I think it was I don't know. Whenever I
you
read
do that
Legendborn.
video, and I will react to that video and cry, just cry and cry and
But see, here's
cry.
the thing. I have given my rant to several people, and they've gone back and lowered their ratings as a result of hearing me go on about it. Because I'm like,
I can't
here's
wait.
point A, exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Here's point B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I will say Ace of Spades wasn't like my favorite book of forever, but I actually did enjoy it.
Me
I mean,
too.
it got me through my colonoscopy.
I mean, I read it. I mean, I read it really quickly, but Get Out one again. Now I'm tired of Get Out, but meets Gossip Girl. I haven't even read Gossip Girl, but I was like, this isn't giving me. It was just
The Gossip Girl part was what was irritating me through the beginning, and then it started to get more interesting, like the plot structure.
just
And then
like
I was happy with
sad
it.
after sad after sad after sad. I'm
Mhm.
like, God.
I remember
can we
Monet telling me
stop?
how Black China filled it was, and how she just kept going
Yes.
on and on and on about how poor he was and how down and out he was every
Mom
single
working
page.
3 jobs and daddy's
Clothes
in
and
jail.
shoes,
And I'm
clothes
like,
and
God,
shoes.
God.
With how poor he
Mhm.
was, and when she said that he couldn't afford shoelaces, and he had to get back to prison, I said, "This is anti-Black at this because you can convey poverty in America, and like with us being a leading country or like one of the leading countries, like poor for us doesn't have to be like down in the gutter where like somebody's splashing mud on it. He did not have to be that poor. He didn't have to be that poor. Like having food stamps is like he could have just had food stamps, not have been okay.
Yeah.
But
She made sure you knew.
And then it was like they had to share a meal because she couldn't afford to feed all of them. So like,
Yeah.
why does he have to be so?
But I think isn't that doesn't everybody just do that? Isn't that like the thing now? It seems like every book is just very leaning heavily on just like where's the joy?
I think that YA is like there's too many like big contenders, and so like now when you're writing a book, you have to have something to compare it to, or something to draw from. The new Get Out, the new Gossip Girl, the new whatever, and it's putting them in a box. And I think especially adult fantasy writers, they have more room to like create originality or bring originality that YA doesn't.
Oh baby.
I don't know
Well, that was
about
the
new releases, but I feel like 2021 was the year of the backlist. The backlist titles came through, and they were shutting things down.
Oh
They were
yeah.
like, oh, we've been sitting here collecting dust, so you've been waiting.
You should have got to us sooner.
Like everybody that read Jade City this year and got on the bandwagon. I was like, okay, we're here. We're seeing it.
Yes.
We know what's up.
I read City of Brass, well, the whole series, the David Bard trilogy. So good. So good.
I haven't gotten past City of Brass because I just, for some reason, haven't read it, and I don't know why.
Oh, but it's
I
so
read City of
good.
Brass, and then I haven't gone any further.
Get it together. It's
That's gonna be one of my
finished.
2022
Well, I have to
series.
reread
It's
it now
finished.
because it's
Oh my
been
God,
over a
Erin! If
year.
you don't, I will mute you on everything.
Yeah.
If you do not come
I think
for
my
Shannon.
hottest takes this year were Legend War and the Poppy War. Me hating the Poppy War was a surprise.
I
to
did
everybody.
not hate Poppy War, but I
You
have
hated
not
the
finished
Poppy
this
War?
series because I stopped caring after book 2.
It started out so well. That 1st
Mhm.
half of book 1, I was like, yes, girl, I'm eating it up. I had the whole trilogy too. And I was like, what is this?
Poppy War and She Who Became the Sun did the same thing to me, where I liked it in the beginning, and then they got to part 2, and it started losing me.
That
but
one
I,
was on my list, and
That's on my
I
TBR
low-key
this
forgot
month.
about
No,
Because I'm doing a Goodreads video.
Erin, I saw that you were gonna read She Who Became the Sun. I have a feeling you're gonna hate it because I liked the Poppy War and I did not like She Who Became the Sun.
I like the first part of She Who Became the Sun, and then when the second part comes and you switch out of that monastery, whatever that scene is, and all of that whole plot line, and it shifts. I stopped caring. And then
I feel like
there's
the whole Sapphic trifecta was hyped, and nobody actually likes the books now.
The Unbroken let me down in that.
Really?
I haven't read it
Because
yet.
that's it's the Unbroken, the
Jasmine Throne.
Jasmine Throne, and then I haven't read those other 2, but I read the Unbroken. I was so excited because it's like North African inspired, and it just, the first half I was in it. I was like, yeah, and then I realized 2 things about that book is that stories where magic is gone, like that's part of the story, it's really hard to sell me on those because I'm like, but fantasy, I want magic.
Yeah.
And it came towards you like the end, and I'm like, no, this is what I want. So like I didn't hate it to not, like, I'm interested to read the next one, but it just, there's something about the characters that were just so weird.
Because that one's gone like in and out of my cart so many times, and it hasn't quite made it home.
It's just
I enjoyed She Who Became the Sun, but like with She Who Became the Sun and Son of the Storm, those 2 were improperly pitched. And so when I first started both of them, I stopped. And then when I read it again, I was like, okay, like I had to change my expectations. And like Who Became the Sun, I read 100 pages and I took it back to the store because I was like, no. But then I went back on like audio and actually was like, okay, let me try again without all of the like.
But the fisting scene is really hard on audio because it goes on for what seems like an obscenely long time to have a fist in you.
Was a little bit of a choice.
But it was there and she did it. She made that choice.
She made a choice and it goes for a bit.
But the thing about She Who Became the Sun.
Are you serious? Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. What page is that on?
It's near the end. You'll
Yeah,
get
it's
there.
closer to the end. But the thing about She Who Became the
Sun, it's
Sun.
not as sexy as you seem to think it is.
No,
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know.
Horrifying. I don't know. I don't.
But the thing about She Who Became,
I just crossed my legs and kept going.
Yeah, but the thing about She Who Became the Sun is that like it's not fantasy, like there's not like a magic system. It's not this, it's like a historical fiction. It's almost like the Poppy War where it's more historical fantasy. And so I think that like if you're going into it hoping for this hard magic system and like something like that, you're not going to get that. It's a historical fiction fantasy.
But the first half is really good when she's like struggling to figure out her place and she's doing and she goes to the monastery. That whole part of the book, I really enjoyed watching the character going through that, and then they switch into the second half of the book and I'm just less invested, I guess, somehow. Oh, maybe it's just not the story for me.
I don't know. Have any of you read the Jasmine Throne? Because I've heard mixed.
I have it and I haven't read it yet.
I read the first chapter and I put it back down. So we're gonna try it again.
So have you read it, Jess? Or
I went through such a huge fantasy. Just heard, like, I've heard some people who loved it and then others who like were loving it and then didn't love it in the end. But I also was in a huge fantasy slump this year. So there was a lot of my books that I was looking forward to this year were fantasy, and I wasn't reading fantasy for months. So then I only got back into it like September. So I'm like, now I gotta catch up. But some of them I'm like, okay, well, I'm not in the mood for that right now. Like I didn't get to.
Was Winter's Orbit this year?
Oh, that was
Yep.
awful.
I think so.
I wrote it down.
I feel
did
like
not
we don't
get
like
to it.
any of the same books.
Well, see, me and Winners Over, we were fine, but I feel like it abused the miscommunication trope so hard.
I
Like,
hate
there were
that.
so
That
many
is an
moments where it
annoying
just
trope in
stopped.
general.
I was like, you joking? Because like he could have told him that one thing like 86 times. I'm like, Miss Ma'am, whoever, stop playing in my face. Just say it and move on.
You know what book did that too that I hated was The Love Hypothesis.
Yes.
And I was
yes.
like,
Can we talk
people
about it?
That's
hype-
Jess's favorite
Jess
book.
will be
Yes,
mad that y'all saw that
when
movie.
you
no,
drag
they
that
hyped up
fucking
so
book.
much, and it had so much miscommunication stuff, and I'm like, no.
And everybody was telling me to read it, and I was
Yeah.
like right to the point of purchasing it, and then just uploaded that video, and I was just like, ooh.
For you.
Saved you.
Winners Or
Saved
would be
you.
like, oh my God, open the door. Oh my God, I love you. Ooh, something on the floor. And it happened so often. It was like comical. It was a sitcom, and like we all were laughing together.
Fine.
And it was like, are you being
No.
serious?
Fine.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
I
them.
can't. I can't do
Mm-mm.
that. Like, there's only certain, like, sometimes it like makes sense, but like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, love
but
hypothesis.
Things
not
that
like
were
sitcom,
also
like
really
interesting book.
disappointing. It was The Maidens.
The
Like
Maidens.
absolutely.
Oh no, I love that.
Really?
I'm so tired of surprise
Yes.
I
pedophilia.
figured it out in like the first
The
30
Maidens-
pages. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one who did it.
No,
Enraged
I
me in
who
my
did it too,
core.
but like the second twist, I didn't see coming.
The Maidens will empower me and enrage me to destroy the world.
I saw that twist coming in the way. I was like, he's not gonna do this. He couldn't have did this. Kobe
I
wasn't
was
that
like-
mad that you did that.
It was
That's
so
so funny.
that I was just like, how did they approve him to publish another book? And everybody's like, the silent patient, the silent patient. I read that, and I
Actually, like
said,
that.
all the signs were there. All the signs
Yeah.
were there. It's the same formula. And like he plugged it into the right equation for the silent patient, but it's the same formula, and it didn't really
That's true.
work out in the Maidens. I'm like, why does he keep writing horrible therapists? Like, have you not had a good therapist in your life? You have a history with
He
that.
got beef with the therapy industry. The whole crowd.
We should start a therapy group for authors.
I'm like, why are the police everywhere?
Clearly
in your
have
book?
things you need to talk about.
I mean, just both of them was terrible. I have to do a rant video about how
You
what was her
should.
name, Mariana and the Theo terrible.
Mhm.
And when
Of course they friends. Of course they was
when I seen that they were friends, I said they both must have failed out. I don't think they have a real license. I don't believe that they have.
They
a
printed them from online.
YouTube.
He's still better than Riley Sager, I think, though.
I don't like. I mean, I
Ooh,
only
don't
read
get me
one.
started on that man.
Oh,
'cause I hated Lock
Ingrid's
Every
getting
Door.
you.
It made me so angry.
Which one?
Has anybody read Survive the Night? That came out this year, right?
No.
I've heard everyone. I've heard a lot of
didn't think
people who
anybody
like
liked
him.
it.
Yeah,
We're
nobody liked it.
disappointed.
Nobody liked it. Everybody
Only
thought
a-
it was stupid.
I was
I just-
on Molly's live show and they were reading it, and I won't read that book, so I had them spoil it for me. I'm so glad I did not read that book.
See, I consistently hear that his main characters, which are always women, are terribly written, and I'm like, maybe he should try to write a man. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it'd only be women.
It
The
was
pink
worse 'cause
one
I'm like,
wasn't
I had
terrible. What was the pink one? Lock Every Door.
Eric,
Lock the door. I said it wasn't terrible. That's all I said. Don't get that angry. I don't think that's a compliment.
I was so angry because I'm like, have y'all read it? Who's read it? Who hasn't?
I
read
don't.
it?
You can.
I've read it.
know.
I don't.
I'm not even gonna spoil it. It was just like literally the solution was to mind your business.
Yes.
If you had minded your business,
Essentially.
all your parts would still be inside your body. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all you had to do. Just sit there and eat your food.
What about
What's your
Home
food?
Before Dark? Did you guys read that one?
It was just like the Ruth Ware book, though. That's the thing. Like
The one by one? Did you read that?
No, the other one,
No.
the one right before that. Turn of the Key.
Turn of the
Destiny-
Key?
Oh no, I didn't read that.
If you read
I
them, they're
liked Home Before Dark.
incredibly similar, and it came out right after
I only
her.
read
So I'm
Final
like,
Girls by him, and I was like,
No, yeah, I didn't like
I
Final
didn't.
Girls either.
I own all his books, and then I started with the one that was the best, and I gave him 1 star. So it's not looking good for me.
what was the one that was the best?
Lock Every Door is his best.
Yeah.
The general consensus is that that's his best.
I was told the last time I lied was his best one. So
Oh, I didn't read that one.
But I'm gonna say about his
Right.
2022 book.
What's his
do
2022
it.
book?
The House of
Maybe
Constant
he should
Light.
take more than a year to write a book.
They all, but the pitch and the covers are very intriguing. So the marketing department deserve a raise.
But the editing department, which I'll do,
The writer needs to be fired. Ghostwriter, please.
The writer.
you need a new writer. Keep the rest of the team. I think so. Are you ever discouraged from reading like something that's on your release? It comes out, people start talking about it, and you're like, because that happens to me. Like books, one I had on my list early in the year was like A History of What Was to Become or something by Sylvain
I said
Neuvel.
what comes next. Yeah,
And everyone who was anticipating it was like 2 stars. I was like,
actually like that book.
I gave it 3 stars.
Oh,
It just
really?
wasn't what I expected.
And that's why I liked it. And I'm interested to see where it's going. I have an arc of the second one right now. It's like back there.
I just
You know,
never.
y'all,
I was
Became
like,
a Son was historical fantasy. It's historical sci-fi. Like, we all up in the Nazis, and I'm just like, I'm real good.
But the space.
Is it good? That sounds good. Sounds interesting.
I think it depends on, you're either gonna like it or you're not. I think it sounds like.
Have you guys read his other book?
The audiobook is good.
I haven't read anything else from him.
I read his
I read it.
trilogy and it was okay, but his novella, The Test,
It's so good.
is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think if you like what is it? Like the Illuminae files, you might like Sleeping Giants because it has a
I did
similar
read Sleeping Giants. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that similar or no?
They're kind of similar. Like the format in Illuminae is a little bit different. Like it has more pictures and random ways to read it, but it's not told like a normal story. Is it called dossier format?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that format. But yeah, I saw and I was like, and then I kind of just took it off my library request and never looked back.
Tor, I didn't even know anything about it. It just showed up from Tor one day and I was like, oh, all right, I'll read it.
I'm rarely discouraged because I feel like I always have the contrary opinion anyway. So if people don't like it, I'm like, oh, that might be a 5-star read for me.
I just get really suspicious when I see too many people posting positive or lacking in actual review pictures of a book on Instagram. Because I'm like, somebody sent that to you or you want to somehow get views and I don't trust you, but I keep seeing it. So the more I see it, the more I'm like, I'm not reading that one. Not for a bit. I'm gonna wait a couple months. See how
just when it's everybody, I'm like, nobody even gave it 3.5 stars. Everybody's giving it 5.
Like, something's suspicious here.
There are very few books that get away with it. Like Project Hail Mary was one of my anticipated releases, and it was fantastic. I think it was so good. It was everything that it needed to be. Awesome, and everybody I think loves that book. And it was what everybody said it was.
Sometimes they're worth the hype, but I think I've been burned so many times now. I'm like this really cynical, jaded little reader that's like, I don't trust you.
Son of the Storm was one. Did you like it? Because it was one of ones I was interested in, and then I was like, heard some things, and it's just one I keep pushing back from the library. So
Son of the Storm.
I think that you would like it, but I would get rid of how it was pitched. Like it was pitched wrong. It was pitched very improper, but I do think that you would like it.
Pitch it to me.
There is this character that we're following. He's kind of like this historian, like scholar, and he lives in a society that has been subjugated and colonized, and the things that they believe about their history, he's finding out to be true. But he has to battle between what his government has been telling him doesn't exist and then what's right in front of his eyes. And he's so colonized that it's hard for him to accept the truth.
Does that not sound like the Sword of Kaigen or no?
Oh,
don't spoil that book because I have that on my list. Thank you.
And because of scholar, he has studied history, but he studied colonized history.
Ooh.
So he has to like battle with like, okay, I've studied this for years, and now it's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows more than like the average person, you know? And there is other people vying for the throne. It can be brutal, but that's like who we're telling the story from. And he meets this person who's very powerful in magic, and magic isn't supposed to exist. So I do think
when the library hole comes in, maybe I will accept it instead of going 21 days. Push that back.
Well, there's one that I know, like a lot of you. I feel like Jess, you like this one, and I can't remember what it's stupid called, and I hate it. I didn't hate it. I just really didn't. It was so boring. It's got the black cover. It's like, it's because it's next to your City of Brass books. I only know that because it's always behind you.
That book
Yeah.
is awful.
I didn't like it.
And what?
No.
You got something against BIPOC authors or something?
Which one of us? I like lots of books. Just
I
not
mean, as
that
long as
one.
they're right, the book
Which one of
the
us?
book is bad. It's actually bad. Okay, here's the thing. My critique was backed by the author herself. She said she does not plot her books in advance. She sit down and write and go off vibes. And she just write. And she said that. I heard
Which one was the pirate? Whoever that like piratey kind of character? She was great.
Chiala? Serapio?
Narampa.
Yes.
And then there was like it was
Narampa's
like,
the worst.
too many different pieces, and like there was a one storyline I cared about, then everything else I was like, what? Where? Who? Why?
Well, I still have to read that.
And you a dummy. I didn't
The
get
first
it.
half, I was like, okay. Because, like, yeah, Chiala and Serapio, I'm like, I just want to stay with them. But then the second half, when it was coming together, I liked it.
Me too. I like
I
it.
feel like
It has
Narampa's
lots of people like it.
characterization was bad because she's supposed to be. There's no way you become a political leader in a religious organization like this and you have no cunning, no skills, no spy.
Everybody was
Clueless.
just very like two-dimensional. Like I wanted people to be fleshed out more. So I just felt like there was just something missing when I was reading it the whole time. That just I didn't connect with anybody like to like get in their heads. Things just didn't feel set up. Like, I don't know. But the pirate one, whoever the pirate lady was, she was freaking badass.
Chiala.
I
The
can't remember
sequel,
everybody's
that part
name.
was so interesting. I feel like a different person wrote that.
Yeah, that and like every time we would switch back, I'd be like, "Ooh, I'm interested again."
I
And
seen
then-
the cover and I just knew that I was never gonna read it.
That second cover is a disgrace. I
Wait,
want
what's
to
the second cover? There's a second
It's
cover.
Look it
terrible.
up.
Yeah.
Find it.
It's-
You know how
Narampa's.
easy it is to get a nice cover in
Why
today's
would
And they
you
said
get
it was
rid
the
of
same
it?
person that did both covers. And I said, "Oh, baby, you lost your muse, huh? Y'all broke up."
right in
Like-
this
like for
era
the
that we're
second
living
book?
in.
And
Yeah,
I expected House of Sky and Breath to be like horrible, but that was the most disappointing cover reveal for me this year.
The
Was
house of that one.
the sequel to the sequel to Black Sun.
Oh
That-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a face in a.
And it's off center.
I
hate
feel
it.
like the artist doesn't like Narampa either.
That's what that's supposed to be. Wow,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
that's
She
Narampa.
throw it-
She do look
I'm
like
like,
Because
I don't
each
wanna
book-
buy it.
Yeah, each book is about each of the characters. So the first book is Serapio's book, and the next book's Narampa's, and the last book is going to be Chiala's book.
that. How
I'm
is it
just
Serapio's
gonna say,
book
I'm just gonna say
and
that
Narampa's the main
Goodreads.
character?
I mean, I
Goodreads
guess
will-
it's fine. Never mind. I was looking at mine. I was like, Goodreads didn't give it that great. It was that was
she
my
pull a
re-
Brandon
that was my
Sanderson?
stars. Never mind. I can't read Goodreads. What? Sorry.
That's the only explanation that works.
What?
For what?
Narampa is 65% of Black Sun, but that's Serapio's book, and he's on the cover at least. So I'm like, did she pull a Brandon Sanderson? I mean, the
Oh,
execution
yeah.
was not on Brandon Sanderson, but
Yeah, I didn't understand. I just was reading like an interview that she did, and
That's
I
a
didn't
choice.
understand how exactly it was his book, other than like how the beginning and the end
Yeah.
happens.
Wait, that was supposed to be about the guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rebecca, that's odd.
Yeah. Rebecca, can we have some words, please? You guys,
I want to say that like I've seen reviews for the other Black girl, and no one knew how to like put what they felt into words. And so when the reviews were coming out, everyone was just like, "Well, that was weird," or "I don't know if I love it," or it was just. And I remember Jesse did a live show on their channel, and I was just like, "No one can describe their feelings for this book.
I know that's
I
all.
read it.
What is it?
It is terrible. It is a. It's a.
Is it a mystery? Is
when
it
they
a,
spoiled that book for me, and I said, "You got to be kidding me."
That book is anti-Black. Okay.
It is very upsetting how that book ends. You're like, these are not the choices you want anybody to make by the end of the story.
I don't want to spoil it, but like, first of all, don't read it. Don't. It's terrible. Second of all, the hair, the afro like pick is like the most pivotal part to the story. It was pitched wrong. It's not a thriller. It's more of like a literary fiction with like magical realism in it, and like it has to do with their hair.
So what I'm gathering is that they really sucked at pitching books this year.
It was they definitely did, but yeah, they're
They
that
just
book-
lied to all of us. They were like,
magical? Oh, I did not
I
know
was
that at
literally-
all.
you didn't like the inheritance of what's her name?
Orchidia Divina. I mean,
I did
I
not
haven't
like that one.
finished it.
I like that book.
This one's
All
bad.
right.
I'm gonna spoil it for you later. You ever seen what's that Hulu show about the hair? That had like the good hair, bad hair, whatever. It's kind of like that.
I don't know that show, but okay. So you can spoil it for me after we get on this.
To save your hard-earned coins. I wanted to light a fire. I wanted to light a match to that book.
I love it. So switching to the ones, so obviously Aaron said
Let's be positive.
Project Hail Mary, which I got from the library because I didn't love The Martian. I'm in the minority, but people said I should give him a second chance with Project Hail Mary, so I got it from the library. So that was a hit.
I think I can speak
I
for
read all 3 of his books, and that's the only one that did make me cry, Tears of Misery.
Oh my gosh, she's so dramatic.
I just
Are
saw
Tears of Misery good or bad? Because I like books that make me cry. Okay, I need to just clarify your categorization.
I don't believe that America sent Mark Watney into space. I don't think that he was the best astronaut that y'all had available. Not him. I think more of them than Mark Watney. I have higher expectations.
This lived up to the hype.
That was on my list, and I haven't gotten to that one. So that
I just got the audiobook on Cyber Monday.
Oh, and
They went
Daniel
a
Lynch's
little crazy
narration
on
is 10
Cyber
out of 10. I love the sound of that man's voice.
I was just gonna say, good choice. The audiobook is.
Who narrates the audio?
Damian Lynch, he's done the Malice John Gwen books. He did Empire the Vampire. He does a lot of adult fantasy.
Okay.
Have anybody read Empire the Vampire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I try not to talk about it, but
I thought you guys, because you mentioned it.
Oh, I read it, but I was just asking if anybody.
I read it. I try not to talk too much. I try not to give him too much airtime, but
yeah.
I personally, I do.
When it came out.
I do enjoy his writing, but we're just
All
gonna
the
leave
problematic
it at that.
authors get featured on my channel because I don't care.
He's problematic. I will read him, but he can.
So did you like it?
He'll get plenty. I liked it. He'll get plenty of airtime in other places.
It was weird that like we heard nothing but like about that book except like for 2 years straight, and then it came out and no one reviewed it.
I thought the same thing. No one read it.
Like, this is weird that this book.
No one's reviewing it because they don't want to get called out on Twitter or whatever.
I see.
I swear people are reading it.
When it was in all the anticipated releases, like when everybody was hyping it up, the controversy has always been there.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the 4 arcs controversy. That wasn't the but people like to be PC on book 2. That's a different discussion.
And then I see that the book was like the #1 bestseller at Goodreads, like the whole 3 weeks after it came out. So I'm just like, so y'all anticipated it for 2 years, y'all bought it, and like what?
But y'all liked it. Nobody talked about it.
He didn't make it to the awards. He was upset.
He should have. Honestly, I can object.
I think it's a really, really good book. I enjoy his books, but his jackass writing fits with me.
But given the criteria that Goodreads has put out and the criteria for the awards and the books that were on there, it should have been on there. It outperformed majority of the list. Had more ratings, reviews, shelved than majority of the list. Some of the books on the list came out literally the day the list came out.
Yeah.
So objectively, it should have been on there. It was a political choice. I feel
it's a fair question. It's fair to question it. I think
I think that book pulled so many like familiar tropes and plot lines and like compiled it into the book. So I think it's a great way. Like if you're reading this book, you will be exposed to so many like new storylines, archetypes, and plots that you're like, okay, I like that, and you can like branch off and go read more. I think that's a great like starting point. Personally, I just felt like it was too long.
Especially it is very long.
It's thick.
I love a good thick book.
I love it too, but it was fairly.
And our main character isn't the chosen one, so I was just like, why do we have a 900-page book when we're not actually following the chosen one? And so I feel like the payoff wasn't there for me. So
but it's also the beginning of a series. So sometimes I kind of like unconventional plot structures or directions. So it'll be interesting to see where that series goes, knowing that we're not following like the main character.
Yeah.
But you know, I can see the unsatisfaction at the end of the book.
Character, but like the background plot for the series, not the center of. So I was just like, this is something you get the later when they're like, oh, I love that character. Can we go back and visit them? That's what the book like to me. But he started there.
Yeah. I like long. it's rare for me to think a really long book earned its length. Like I sometimes I'm just like, we could have cuddled, but so I don't know, but I haven't read that one yet. I'm trying to think of what I
mean,
had so few
I could
books that lived up
probably-
to my expectations.
I could probably speak for the bottom row in saying Jade Legacy.
Or in
Yeah.
every
Oh, baby, she could have gave me
every
3
I haven't
points.
read it yet.
I don't have a pony in the race yet.
Me neither.
And I feel like that one earned its length as well. Even that 730 pages, I ate it
I
all
want
up.
more pages. I need
Yeah.
I want to spin off. I want Jade Legacy Next Generation.
Yeah.
All
had
that.
like 4 days to read that arc. I was like in the final term of school, writing like my thesis, and I still ate up that
Oh my
book
god.
in like a weekend. From like Thursday to Monday, I just ate it up in a
Every
weekend.
time somebody
Same way,
says
like,
thesis,
I've been I don't even know where my show was. I've been eating up Stormlight books the last couple months, and I'm like, please, Brandon, give me the Google Doc. Please tell me where Stormlight 5 is at. I need to know what's going on.
He's
I want
like
another 200,000
2024, 2025. Like
I'm about to start The Way of Kings, and I just saw on there that it was published in 2010. I don't think I realized that it was published 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, almost 12.
when you think about it, like, because I was watching Brandon's like interviews, and because he was like, his plan is to have all his series and things finished by like, I think he said like 75. Because he has so many. The Stormlight is going to be 10 books total.
Yeah.
He's taking a 5-year break.
Yeah, and he
after
has
Stormlight 5.
another. He has like 2 more eras planned
of
for Mistborn. Sequels, like this man. I'm just.
Can
like,
he just
but I-
finish? Can he just finish? What is that stupid series that's never going to get done? The Name of the Wind or whatever. Can they just take that
He's
over and
busy.
finish it?
He's
It's so
busy.
funny because even the fantasy authors, when they're discussing like the 2 or 3 people who will never finish a series, like he's like, listen, we always got Brandon finish.
They'll finish it. They'll finish it.
George will let us down. Brandon, I don't understand.
George
He's
needs to
just
stop
like,
sticking his name on shit and actually finish Game of Thrones. That'd be great.
Brandon's just writing.
Dear
He's like,
George.
okay, finish this one. Update. Gonna sign these books.
That's somebody who
Write
understood
this
the
one.
assignment.
Update.
You know what Brandon's doing all the time. Daily updates.
He said.
Weekly updates. Annual.
Yes.
This is what I'm working on all
He's
year
like
long.
97% done with this one.
I
And
know.
he has a crazy writing schedule, and he writes like an insane amount of words a day.
If you go on his
He's a
website,
professor too, right?
Yeah, he also teaches it.
Yes.
Bring him
Yeah.
I
in.
don't get it.
and if you go on his
I read,
website, he has like a tracker of how many words he's written for each book.
Thank
He posts on Reddit about the books, about where he's going. He was like, "Oh, y'all, I'm on vacation in Hawaii. Here's the ocean. I'm about to go write something."
I read Cytonic, the 3rd book in the Skyward. So good. Like,
Okay,
Did you
between
just read that,
Skyward
Jess?
and Starsight, which one was your favorite?
which one between all the 3?
Between the first 2.
Starsight.
Okay, it's
I
interesting.
think it's so much better.
I like them both. But
yeah,
the
I
thing
gave
to get
all
a
of them
5-star out of
5
me is surprising me, and I think
Yeah.
the end of Skyward really surprised me. And I
Yeah.
really like the weirdness of Starsight. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see, because I know we explore the nowhere, I think.
Yeah.
A bit
Yeah.
more, so I'm excited to see where Cytonic goes.
Oh, yeah,
Just
I'm trying to
stick with
see
it.
where-
Like the beginning of Cytonic, like I was kind of like, oh, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like for so long, but dude, full circle at the end, and I was like, oh my god, how does he do it?
I'm
How
trying to
does that
speed
man
read
do
those
it?
for your live. I'm trying to speed read those for your live show,
Get
just
it?
because I'm halfway through Starsight right now.
I was going to say me
so
too,
good.
because I'm still reading Cytonic.
Show.
I love Hesho and like all the
He's
little
so
creatures and
good.
critters we learned about.
Oh my! I
Yeah,
was
it's
listening to the audiobook for Starsight, and the narrator does a little voice for Doomslug, and I just started cracking up. I
Doomslug.
was just
It's
driving
really
home
cute.
from work.
Oh,
I
and
was dying.
the novellas between Starsight and Cytonic they're both really good, and
Mhm.
they're like
I was
I have the
surprised.
audio and the ebook for both of those.
Yeah,
those
they're
were
really good.
I was like, Brandon. And then I was like, oh, these are good. These are juicy.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
learned
Nice and
from what was it? Stormlight 2.5.
Oh right.
That you gotta read the novellas because he really puts very essential
Yeah,
things
he does
in the novella.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. So, don't you have to read the 2 novellas between
before
Cytonic, and then
yeah.
there's 2 novellas that are coming after Cytonic, right?
I
Just
think
one.
it's one.
Just
Every
one.
short.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. with Stormlight. So I've read the first two, and then I was like, I'm gonna read Oathbringer, and then I got my fantasy slump, and then Rhythm, and then but now I'm like, maybe I should just go back and reread
I
The
always
Way of
prefer to
Kings.
reread because
And
Let's
then-
do it because I never finished. I read the first one, and I didn't keep going
But then
because
I'm like,
it's not done, and that drives me
exactly.
nuts.
I'm like, but then if I
I need to
reread them
know.
now, I still gotta wait like 4 years
Yeah.
for the next one.
And you're
Listen,
not going to remember.
Let's
Listen,
do
I
it.
wouldn't
Let's all
remember.
read them
definitely
together.
remember.
listen, I'm
Then I'll have to
reading The Way
reread them
of Kings.
again.
But listen, I'm reading The Way of Kings this month. Just start reading it. We'll have a little
No.
buddy read. It'll be a good
Listen, I
time.
want
Let's
to
do
reread
it.
them already. That's how Rhythm of War is one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Them some of the best words put to page other than the words Jesus put in that book. 'Cause that is how good Rhythm of War is.
I'm sorry, Monet. I know you don't even like Brandon Sanderson, right?
No, not really.
Yeah.
She's like, nope.
But I love it.
Mistborn, the first book.
I love
She
it
wasn't
for
a big
y'all.
fan.
She likes this journey for you. Yeah.
Well, Monet, did you have a release that you were looking forward to that besides Jade Legacy lived up to the hype for you?
The
This
Inheritance
year?
of Lydia Davina.
I actually really like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's just this column.
I haven't read it, but I'm reading it this
No,
month
I
for
loved
the
it.
Goodreads
Did you read
video.
it physically or the audio?
I got the arc, so I read it physically.
I did
Okay.
both because I had your ebook and the hard copy.
I wonder.
read
I
along.
feel like I should read it physically because I was listening to the audio and I was just like,
Mhm.
"There's so many people."
My critique is that I feel is she traditionally a YA author?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it could have stood to be fleshed out a little bit more, and she could have run with it a bit and really dug in deep in certain areas. And I would have been really happy to get more of the magical realism aspects of it. But I really liked it. It reminded me of this book, A Constellation of Roses, which I don't know if anybody's actually read, but it's got like a similar kind of vibe with like daughters and mothers and magic and like little family secrets. And yeah, it just made me happy. I like magical realism though. So
Yeah, it was one of my favorite books of the year.
yeah.
I don't
The
think magical
Inheritance-
realism for me.
Mhm.
That book really slapped.
Yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
The Inheritance.
Inheritance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it another try. I don't know if
Did you do
magical
audio or did you
realism.
read it?
I
Hmm.
physically read it.
Oh, see, I
Yes,
think
you
I need to
do
do
audio?
that.
You
That
do
would be
have
good.
to look at it because it is actually kind of, there are some like visuals, not a lot of them, but like it's just a lovely book. Just read it.
No, I mean like Jess, when you read it, was it audio?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been seeing that a lot this year. That especially like with audiobooks, that actually kind of ruin a book for me.
Yeah.
And when I go back and like read it myself, I have a better time. And it's not even that the audio is bad, because I've had some audiobooks where like everybody loved the narrator, and I'm like, it sounds good, it sounds appeasing, but like I like it more when I read
Yeah.
it.
Every story.
I always connect more when I read with my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they can be really good narrators. Like
Mhm.
Rise of Empire, the narrated audiobooks are really, really good. But I'm literally rereading it right now because I was just like, my enjoyment is down because I read it or I heard it on audio. So I want to go back and read it myself.
I feel most fantasy and like sci-fi, if I listen to the audio, I need to be following sometimes I'll do that with the book or read the book, or I'm just not going to get all of it. But I didn't realize really what Inheritance of Orcadia Divino was. So I got the audio, but yeah, sometimes it just don't work. Or I like audios for rereads.
Last year I read, and then I would also do like the pairing where like I would read along. But this year I was like doing a lot of like cleaning and like around my house just listening.
Mhm.
And I was doing it with like adult epic fantasies, and it really took away my enjoyment. So
Yeah.
I need to do a rom. I need to do something very light.
Yes, I do like a
Yeah.
thriller.
Yeah.
Or like
or
audio.
nonfiction.
I prefer thrillers on audio because it's like
Mhm.
I don't ever spoil anything accidentally for myself. Like, you know.
I'm always like,
my eyes always jump to the other page.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I have to like put something up, so I'm like
Hold it. It's like,
not to look down.
I'm trying
Firekeeper's
to find something I
Daughter.
like.
Oh, I was
was
just
a
gonna.
YA
Yeah.
book that also lived up to the hype for me. I loved it.
Yes, I 100% agree. I was gonna say that one, but
all of his villains, if you guys haven't read it, that slapped. So,
I also bought that because of you.
Which
We're
one?
gonna read that soon. We're gonna
Are
see
you
it
ready
as
for
slap.
December? Because you're gonna have a great December.
Which one? Which one? You cut
All
out
of
a
Us
little bit.
Villains?
Say it one more time.
All of Us Villains.
Oh, I have that. Yeah, that's on my list for next
Who's
month.
that?
That and Firekeeper's Daughter.
Amanda Foodie.
And,
Okay.
And Christine Lynn Herman.
and I'm currently reading A Marvelous Light, which just came out from Tor.
Oh, I want to read that one too.
And it is so freaking
Is it good?
fun. It is just fun. It is fun. It is like this
If you
quirky,
like that, you might want
magical,
to check out.
queer, like murder. They just got a little spicy. Like I love them. I want more. There's gonna be a little series. I want more.
If you
I
like
thought you
that,
were
you should read
serious.
Witch Mark by C.L. Polk. It's like
Okay.
a similar, not Bridgerton, but like historical male
Yeah.
magical adventure love story
Witch
situation.
Poke,
C.L. Polk, Witch Mark.
Witch Mark,
Yeah.
CL Poke. Oh, there's a poke in there.
Yeah. Fire. A Dowry of Blood. That one.
Oh,
wait,
that one-
did that
Oh,
come
you!
out?
I
good.
put that in my script
good.
saved thing for you, just because of you, Jess. It's coming out. It's coming out.
Did
Do you
that
know
come
what-
out
Like
this year?
bands.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Did you
Okay.
read Nothing But Black and
Good.
Teeth?
It wasn't good as
No.
everyone said though.
Well, that's what
What?
I
A
was.
Dowry of Blood?
See, that was
What?
one of the things I was going to bring up, but I didn't remember if it was published this year or not. I read it on
I
audiobook,
think it
and
was like early this year. Yeah.
I listened to it on audiobook, and I thought the audiobook was fine. Like,
Oh, I read the.
Me too.
I just was like.
I read it physically and I listened to audio while I was doing it, and I thought the sentences were beautiful. But I want a longer form, linear story from her. I think that would serve better. I would be more.
I
intrigued.
loved it.
I mean, I
thought
ate
was
it.
so
I ate it
good.
up, but I
Me
would.
too.
I wanted more.
yeah.
Me
I
too.
was like,
Me too.
so hopefully the next thing is longer because I was like,
Her other two things are kind of short though, so I don't know. Maybe short fiction might be her lane, as far as like what she prefers. But I always prefer longer. Everything I read, I'm like, ooh, could have been longer. Like if it's good, could have been longer. If it's bad, I'm like, baby, you could have cut 800 pages, but it's 300-page book.
but sometimes I'm like, read something and I'm like, oh, it could have been shorter. Then when I want more, I'm like, maybe that was good that I want more and I didn't.
Like
want it
Empress
to
of
be
Salt and
less.
Fortune, I wanted that to be 600 pages. I needed the whole
Which book?
details. Empress of
Empress?
Salt and Fortune
Who's
by
that?
Nevo.
Mhm.
Oh, I haven't read. Did
Did y'all read The Chosen and the Beautiful?
Mhm.
I haven't, not yet.
What did you think of it? Because I feel like I've heard mixed things on it.
Okay, so I was really liking it, and then the ending, there's like, it's not a spoiler, but there's some stuff that's regarding one of the characters possibly being indigenous, and I don't know that I like appreciated that representation. It was really not well done to me, but otherwise I really enjoyed the book.
I really liked what she was doing. It's a she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she was trying to do too much in one book.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I was like, it could have been, or at least in one novella, like short little book, it would have been better to flesh it out or to take out one element, I think. But I did like it. There's a new, and I've been trying to figure out the name. There's a Gatsby retelling that's coming from like the women's perspective coming out next year, I think. Somebody emailed me about it recently.
Oh, yeah, because they're doing like those remixes. Bethany Samaro did one. I just saw that. I think it's. Hold on, let me look.
I never loved the story of Gatsby, so retellings, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't really care for those. But also, I can't a video without saying Amari and the
I also
and
got
Night Brothers.
that on
So
Cyber
good.
Monday.
I'm so ready for Amari and the Great Game. So good.
Give it
Somebody
to
read the
me.
Jane Eyre retelling that was like a thriller horror.
Oh, the wife
Wife
upstairs? That was
Upstairs.
awful. No.
No,
I hated
the
it.
YA Jane Eyre, like these wicked walls. These.
Oh,
wicked-
I have that, but I've had two things that have been listed, have been like marketed
These
to me as
wicked-
Jane Eyre things this year.
Within
That
These Wicked
sucked.
Walls
Okay.
is what it's called.
I have the Within These Wicked Walls, and I need to gird my loins and try it.
That was another one that I was just like, these YA covers not gonna keep getting me. Somebody is gonna have.
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna put in the group
It's
chat.
the
Somebody
Jane
read
Eyre
this book.
things. Like they got
I'm
me with
sick of
that.
it.
They got me with the Death of Jane Lawrence. They got me with that one. Didn't like that one. I was
wow,
Love
that
that
cover was
cover.
beautiful.
the
I'm in
cover
middle
is
of reading that
beautiful.
one.
Gorgeous.
Let me know when you get to the end if you still like it. If you like
I
it at
heard
all
Was that
now.
one
everyone
about
loves the
Jane
beginning
Eyre
and
too?
the ending is trash.
And no, it's kind of got like this mixed like it's they mix up what are they, I have it here. They give you like the pitch is whatever it is. It's like Ninth House meets Mexican Gothic, and then it's like Crimson
Ninth
Peak,
House.
and then they're like
Come on.
it's
Mexican
this,
Gothic wasn't as good as everybody said either.
No,
Yeah, I didn't like that
yeah,
either.
those two.
I didn't know they pitched it like that. That's a lot. That's
Yeah, there's a lot of like false advertising on this book.
Ninth House and Mexican Gothic. That
I
was
know,
lost to me.
It was a very nice 3-star
It
read,
should
but that
never
was it.
Yeah,
Yes.
same.
You
It
say
was
Ninth
funny.
House and I'm out.
Yeah,
Everybody
I do not
shut
Ninth
up
House.
about Ninth House. I love that book.
No.
Wow, we need to talk.
No, you don't need to
Terrible.
talk. You need to listen.
Yeah, Mexican Gothic for me was a nice 3-star too. I was like,
Same, same.
okay.
It was fine. It was
was cute.
atmospheric. It was, okay, cool.
I
Yeah.
just didn't like that they like marketed it as horror. Like that is not a horror book.
But see, it's
Like,
gothic horror.
horror.
And
Mhm.
gothic horror
Sorry.
does look like that. It's more like
Mhm.
atmosphere
It's-
creepy. What are you
Mhm.
thinking going
I
on?
just
versus, like,
didn't think it was like. I was like, you know.
I like gothic horror, and this was like light gothic horror to me. Mexican
Very
gothic.
light.
I feel like
I was
the
like, this
author
is horror.
up to the book too much for the climax that she gave. The beginning
Yes.
part of the book is actually really good, but when you
Yes.
get to like the meat of the story, you're just like
Mhm.
the build up. Like you prepared a feast, and then yeah, no.
Are we still
Then
talking
you
about
got
Mexican
corn.
gothic?
They got corn.
I was talking about the death of Jane Lawrence.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, the
no,
beginning starts out really interesting, and it's bloody and gut and nasty. I'm like, oh yeah, girl, talk that talk. You know, I like that.
No, I think we keep getting confused. No, this starts out bloody and whatever.
Yeah, that one.
Mexican gothic starts out, I don't know,
I like
flirty
how
and filled with cigarettes. I don't know.
Right.
Lots of cigarettes.
carnal and sensual Mexican gothic was. I enjoyed the how
I
she
like
juxtaposed,
Noemi. She
I
was
like
really
how she
good
just feels like
character.
how you might desire this thing and like
Mhm.
how that can kind of be taken out of the context. Like I enjoyed the dynamic between Mr. Man and Noemi. I liked that a lot. Like he was in her dreams. I'm like, is this real? Oh my god, this is
Did you read her new book, Velvet Was the Night?
I haven't read that one yet. I read the beautiful ones, like they
When they gave
re-released
Velvet
that
Was the
one.
Night 2 stars.
Which one?
Yeah.
Velvet of the Night.
Velvet was... yeah, Velvet Was the Night. I gave 2 stars. Very noir.
Yeah, I gave it
Oh.
3
What
stars.
is, this might be what is new? What does that mean when it says it's
Literally,
noir?
It's
like
just atmosphere.
sexy,
Yeah.
like
I think like
No
black
plot,
and
just
white.
vibes.
Like
greased hair, like literally noir.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Look
all
at
about.
Justice
white film,
face.
Like
cigarette.
I'm like, that's it.
But that's the thing about Sylvia Moreno Garcia is that like other than the what is it, the Gods of Jade and Shadow, like all of her books. Well, I haven't read the beautiful ones, but
Beautiful
all
ones
of
I
her
really liked.
all of her books are like atmosphere. She's really good at building
Yes.
atmosphere and character. And so like Untamed Shore and Velvet Was a Night are like
You made me
noir.
buy that book.
I haven't read it yet, but it's
It's
noir.
so pretty.
It is.
Well, yeah, if you understand what noir is and you like those types of movies, like I'm like I said, I don't know if you can count Scarface, but that's kind of like generic noir, but like Scarface type Scarface-esque movies.
It's like the
Then
Maltese Falcon is actually film noir.
yeah.
I the beautiful ones just made me. It's like oh god, it's like Edith Wharton meets magic realism. So it made me. It was
I
kind of.
don't actually think I
fun.
like magical realism. I
Mm.
don't. I like a bird.
I don't think a lot of people do. I think it's a very
Oh,
special
no.
little like. Because if it's done well, it's fantastic, and it's so easy to do it poorly.
I don't
So,
really even like
so
soft magic systems. Like I want to know exactly what's going
Yeah.
on. Is
Well,
it
if
magic
you
or
read
is it
enough
reality?
Brandon Sanderson, then I understand why you like hard magic systems, because that man makes insane magic systems.
I want to know
that
exactly
need-
what the rules are and the consequences.
Mhm.
I don't actually.
Yes.
Whatever you
person
say, you wrote it. I believe you.
The channel
I'm going with
isn't
it.
used a lot, but it's very well explained what's going on and the consequences of using Jade. Robin Hobb is the only person who I let get away with this like flimsy magic system.
Reading Velvet Was the Night and like understanding like it was noir made me not want to read Final Girl Support Group because I understand it's very slasher, and I was just like, well, I don't even know if I am.
No, it's not even a slasher. Don't
or
read
is my heart
that.
is the chainsaw. Like it made me question, like we label these genres correctly, especially like, is that for me, you know, or am I
Did
just?
you read My Heart is a Chainsaw?
No, I haven't, but I just because it's like a slasher, and I didn't watch
Yeah,
those movies.
I'm
Final
like,
Girl Support Group
it was on
is
my
not a
list,
slasher.
and then I was like,
I read the Final Girl Sport Group and I didn't like it either. It wasn't like
It's like slasher
DNF.
fan fiction. That's
Yeah.
that's
it-
actually what it is.
I
It wasn't
DNF'd it. I tried. I was listening to it on audiobook. I got like halfway and I was like, there's no way I'm finishing this book.
I
Yeah.
took that book
But-
back to the store. I needed my money back.
Yeah, no, that lady was way too paranoid for me. I was like, no, it's not it.
The best character was the plant. I was happy he made it.
I know, right?
Fine. I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
Fine.
Okay.
That's a fact.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Seriously.
They had this magical black woman speaking from the dead, literally, to like save this girl's life. And like
Yep.
a character got
What?
hit by a car, hit in the head with a sledgehammer, and she was still walking around because she was fine. She got pinned to a tree with a vehicle, ran over.
No.
No, I don't need to read this book. I'm good. Thank you for the highlights.
I did
Oh
hear
my
really good
gosh.
things about My Heart is a Chainsaw. But like I told myself, if I read that and I don't like it, then I'm giving up on slasher like books. Because I read The Final Girls by Riley Sager, I didn't like it, and then I read that one by Grady Hendrix, I didn't like it. So My Heart is a Chainsaw is the last straw. If I don't like that,
Yeah.
You
I'm
should
not
check
reading
out
it again.
Slashers, just not.
Splatterpunk.
Who is it?
Splatterpunk? This is
Yes,
like
it's
when
like a
Spotify
genre of
told me.
horror. And when people say slasher,
Yeah.
people think splatterpunk because it means you think it's gonna be bloody, gory, full of action, like.
Yeah.
But slasher and that are very different. So splatterpunk is like what that people think they're gonna get when they hear slasher, but it's not. Because
That's
My
a
Heart
good-
is a
yeah, I'm
Chainsaw
gonna check it out.
and Final Girl Support Group
I hear slasher films.
are just about. But in slasher movies, people get slashed
Yeah.
and they die, and it's bloody.
I'm focusing more on
There is death.
that person committing the crime than like the depiction of the crime itself. Like,
Well, you don't
Yeah.
even get the person committing the crime in Final Girl Support Group. You get a
Yeah,
victim.
no, you
And
don't.
she ain't even a real Final Girl. She's a fraud.
She's a
no,
fraud.
I expect to be following a character that's actually like, you know what I'm saying, doing these slashing. I expect it to be
She is not. She is running. She's on the run. Her
Mhm.
pants.
Paranoid.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Paranoid.
She's scared of a plant?
No, her best
No.
friend is
She
a
has
plant.
a plant.
No,
Okay.
the premise of it is that there is a Final Girl support group. It's all for
Mhm.
Final Girls. Do you know what a Final Girl is?
It's yeah.
Okay.
And like the last one, the horror film. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
and then one of the Final Girls in that group dies, and so they think that somebody's after them, and that's what the whole story is revolving around.
And
No,
there's
the
a plant.
one lady thinks they're after them.
Yes.
Right,
The
yeah,
one
that's
lady.
true.
The one
Yeah, the
person.
one
Okay,
person.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm still trying to figure out why that one kid really liked the Nazis so much in the last book. So I just still don't understand why that was a choice.
Grady.
In which
I
book?
didn't. In
Oh,
the Southern Girls
Book Club
Guide.
You know what? I really like that book, and then I watched your video, Jess, and you're like, the kid was obsessed with the Nazis,
He
and I
was
was like, yeah, he
absolutely
really
obsessed.
was. Like, I
And
hadn't
I'm
even
reading
thought
that
really
this
about
month
that.
confused me, and I
too.
really couldn't stomach all the like inner thigh drinking, and like
Oh yeah,
I was just like I don't.
yeah, that was weird.
Yes,
But I liked
went
it.
into depth in that video, so I was just like, I'm good. I'm gonna save
I
money.
liked
I
it.
mean, I didn't like. Some people were like 5 stars. I think it was good,
fine.
but some things I just had questions. Grady, why?
Why?
Also, to your earlier point, I think there's a lot of books where it's like if you just minded your own damn business, none of this would have happened. Like, why are you up? Just leave him alone. He wants to go eating people. Like, okay, fine. Eventually, somebody will figure it out. You stay home. Stop being a nosy neighbor.
Lock every door. Mind your business, stay alive.
Mind your business. You have all your body parts. I feel like also from this video, and I mean before, that publishing overall needs a new team on like pitching and genres and subgenres, because I'm so tired. The if you hear a book all the time marketed as this means this or it's this, and then you go and like that can ruin your experience. And I really need them. Like, what are they doing? Get it together.
The faintest aspect of the plot, the faintest aspect, and be like, this is the new Hunger Games. All of his villains has been pitched as the new Hunger Games, and the only thing they share is a competition. You know how many books there are with competitions?
Yeah.
Like these
That's
people
like
are villains, and they want to be here. You know what I'm saying? They're not sacrifices, or like no one's watching. In
Somebody
the
is raising their hand.
I'm
Yeah,
a
hand
teacher,
raised.
so I actually do know how to wait silently. I will say, I don't even know if I can blame publishing. I think it's instant gratification and people not listening, because people say this means this because they have to grab you so quickly. Because if I'm like, oh, this is a book about this and this and this, and by the time I get to my second sentence, you stop listening to me. So it's like, what's one quick element that I can name of something that's already really popular that you can relate to? because like not to keep talking about Fonda Lee,
Yeah.
but she mentioned when she first published her book that they didn't have any comp titles, so they didn't know how to sell it, how to pitch it, because they couldn't connect it to something that readers already were familiar with. The general populace is only familiar with so much, which is like the biggest releases, the biggest movies, the biggest shows every single year. And so you have a very small pool of things to choose from, which to connect people with. So it's like, okay, Hunger Games, even without like having read the book, you just seen the movie, you have the faintest knowledge of the Hunger Games, you know it's like a trial, competition, dystopia. Boom, boom, boom. Those are 3 things you know about it. So if my book has one of those elements, I've got something to connect you to with something you already understand, even if it has no other semblance to the story.
Yeah.
Those books became like the comparisons because, like I said, they brought originality to it. I don't understand the trend.
Not really.
Compare like when you're pitching the Hunger Games, you don't pitch it as the new whatever or this is just like you pitch the Hunger Games. It is what.
But when the Hunger Games came out, it was pitched as whatever was popular before. That's kind of the way.
I wonder what it was pitched as.
I know.
I just
wish
don't
I
think
knew.
that these pitches are for people like us who are sitting here and reviewing books, like and living in this little bubble of bookness.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's for, like-
before Get Out.
Jane,
It's for
walking
people who
through
don't read
Barnes
a
and
lot.
Noble. Yeah.
When I was not in the book community, I never cared for the new this, the new that. I actually just read the back of the book and bought it based off that. It's in the book community that these pitches actually matter because before I didn't care. I didn't look at blurbs. I just read the book and just did that when I wasn't a booktuber.
I still didn't look at
I didn't look at those.
I
I have
still
a
didn't
very
look at
detailed book buying process.
I don't.
The average
Yeah, I
person-
would just go into the store.
I'm like,
and look
I think
at
I've
things.
seen that somewhere, and someone seemed to be happy about it, so I'm gonna try it.
I've never read a blurb until I became a booktuber. I totally went right over those.
I skipped.
I
them
can't go
'cause
on
I'm like,
Wild
did you
Child.
even read this?
That's too expensive.
I don't care about a blurb, especially because it's normally by authors that like I don't read from or don't really care about. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen King blurbs everything.
saying that George R. Martin loves something. I mean, he's on everything. His
I'm
name is
still
on everything.
trying to figure out how this is, in God's name, this is Ninth House.
Dark
George R. R.
academia,
Martin blurb and
gothic.
everything.
I mean,
But not like him.
Crimson Peak,
Oh,
I
yeah.
understood. If you said this was like Crimson Peak, I'm like, got that. Crimson Peak hits this on the the nail on the head. Creepy house, weird shit. All right, I'm here for it.
Well, the last one I had, do you have because I was working on my anticipated release video earlier. So any like one or two, a couple you wanna share, any you're excited about?
I gave up.
I
gave up.
I'm done. I mean, there's titles that's like I'm interested in, not like I'm gonna go out and buy them, but my literal most anticipated is Babel by R.F. Kuang next year because it sounds like my dark academia dreams, and I hope she delivers.
Putting out a new book. I totally missed that.
In August,
Yeah, it's got a new
and
one,
I
and
need it.
it has no cover yet.
Hopefully,
No.
I like this one.
On her Instagram, there was like character art.
Mhm.
Character art. So and
Is it now
there's
officially the middle of the night, Jess?
1:56 a.m. Is that the middle of the night? But
Yeah.
there's some good nonfiction coming out next year that I'm excited about. But the rest, I'm like, I'm not gonna pre-order these. I'm gonna borrow them from my library. I've been burned too many times this year,
I'm
but
out.
I'll wait and see what. I also like to see when other people get it, and then I'm like, "Ooh, what are people saying?"
I have a
Especially
couple
people who are
pre-orders
similar.
already, and
What?
for
Do
I
tell.
have the Hacienda by Isabella Canas. I can't say. I'm gonna butcher somebody's last name. My Spanish boyfriend is downstairs, probably just twitching. But it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like something meets Rebecca, and since that's my favorite book in the entire world, and has been since I was a very wee person.
It says
I'm just like,
Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca.
Oh,
I have to see what this is about, and it's either going to knock it out of the park, or I'm going to be the most disappointed human ever. And then also To Paradise by Hana Yanagihara. Gahara. I can't have. There's too many syllables.
Is that the one
But
who wrote
the Little Life?
Uh-huh.
I love The Little Life. It destroyed me. I like sad things. I would like to be depressed.
I mean, I
We
like
can dig
some
into that another
element
time.
of
but-
sadness, but not that many pages of it.
but it's actually so good if you can stomach. There's a lot of self-harm in it though, which is if you can't stomach self-harm, you're gonna be out real fast. Yeah. But
Most
it's a
anticipated
really good book.
releases for next year are mostly sequels. So like number one most anticipated release is The Lord of Demons, which is the third book in the Rage of Dragons and the Burning series. My favorite series, my favorite book. I'm ready.
How many are going to be in that series?
4. It's a quartet.
Okay, because I'm trying to get Naomi to read it, and she won't read it till they're all out. So like,
I still haven't read Rage of Dragons.
I have it sitting here waiting for her ass, and like, so
you to read it and then do a rant video. I'm gonna eat that.
Don't do it.
Jess is going to do a rant.
There are very few books that I'm like, I'll fight you about.
And just know you have a friend in me. When the comments come for you, you have a put me on the video. We can rant together.
Do you not like Rage of Dragons?
I love Rage of Dragons.
Oh. I will be up in there.
Headed, but I eat it up.
Sebastian de Castell, Play of Shadows is coming out next year. I'm super excited for that. And The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. Really, really excited for that. But that's like a January release. And of course, The Hunger of Gods.
Well, the All of Us Villains sequel, the new Crescent City.
Yes, the new Crescent City.
Even though I'm not on this book yet, Sarah,
yes, aren't you excited?
Which is the latest book by Michael J. Sullivan. He said that this book is what he deems his best book ever. So I'm literally racing to catch up because for him to call this his best book,
The Lost Meadow comes out next year.
Ooh, I'm ready.
I really hope that we're not disappointed next year because I have some high expectations for 2022.
I go into life with low expectations. That's the easiest way to get through.
I am super excited. I pre-ordered the next book in the Finley Donovan is Killing It. Have you guys read that?
Yeah, that's so ridiculous.
Everyone loves that book.
It's so good. It's so good.
You should read that and For Your Own Good. Those two books were just a fun time.
Oh, yeah, that was
let
good.
me teach it to you.
I'll try.
Imagine accidentally being hired as a hit woman in a Panera Bread.
Dude,
all right, I'm
so
down with
good.
It. I used to have this conversation with a friend in college. I was like, I think I could be a mercenary, and they were like, "You really think you could be a mercenary?" I was like, "Yeah, I could totally do it." And like, no, you couldn't. You couldn't do it. No, that's like now I want to go to Panera and see if somebody will hire me as
$50,000.
And it's so good because like so much shit just keeps happening, and you're like, "What the heck is going on?" Right?
And the like friendship dynamic between like Vero
the
and
two.
Finlay.
Yeah, it's so good. You're right. So I'm super excited. I already pre-ordered the second book. It's coming out in February, I think. And I pre-ordered the second Crescent City because I'm just Sarah J. Maas trash, and I admit it.
And book lover. Book lover.
If you want to feel better about your Sarah J. Maas trashiness, my biggest guilty pleasure is the whole Crave series by Tracy Wolff, which is absolute hot fucking garbage, and I eat it up like it is. It is so good. The last one comes out next year.
And Tracy Wolff is right next to Armin Trout.
It is awful. And I am with my eyes wide open, knowing it is trash, and I love it. I love it.
People hated Serpent and Dove, but like that was my trash. I ate that up. I thought that was hilarious.
I'm so scared to read Blood and Honey or whatever the last one is because everybody hated it so much.
I never went forward. I just read Serpent and Dove, had my little laugh. She got my point, so but not again.
It's been on a downward trend from Serpent and Dove, and depending on where you started, that could be quite a steep downturn.
I think people take stuff too seriously because they're like, "Oh, she sucked. Maybe she was supposed to. Maybe she was."
That was the point. There's so many. Aaron, did you say book lovers? Is that the new?
It's the new Emily Henry, and I'm waiting on that book at the door. She got 5
Did you
stars,
like Beach Read or People We Meet on Vacation more?
I gave both of them 5 stars. And I don't give out 5 stars.
Wow.
But also, People We Meet on Vacation made me cry on camera. I gave a 10-minute review in a blog for that book because it was so good. I was like, I feel so seen. I cried.
Wow.
It was so beautiful.
I didn't like.
Even Monet gave it 5 stars.
I gave People We Meet on Vacation 5 stars, but I didn't like Beach Read. That was a 3.
I didn't love Beach Read, but I still need to read.
Oh no, I was thinking about.
I wouldn't recommend, but People We Meet on Vacation, you give her one more chance before you knock her because
Beach read is women's fiction. Not gonna lie, beach read is women's fiction. But people we meet, friends to lovers, excellent.
Okay, I might give her another chance because I hated Beach Read.
January, Juliet, July, June. She was terrible.
She was the worst. Like when she was
January, July.
Some teenage.
When she was trying to be funny, I was like, January, where is your humor? What is happening?
So immature. Like I've learned from me personally, like if you're a naive character, okay, cool, woe is me, whatever. But I personally can't read from a character that is that naive and you're gonna cry about the sky being I can't do that.
Gus.
The fact that she spent so many years acting like he was her arch nemesis.
Yes.
Why?
He didn't even know
For
you.
what?
He doesn't even know you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You're mad because your dad cheated on your mom. Grow up.
I'm just mad I haven't read this, so I can't yell with you.
Your daddy dead. How him cheating on your mama made him a bad dad? He's already
literally upending her life. Her life is over. She's not gonna write no more books because her daddy cheated on her mama 12 years ago. He did.
And her mama knew about it.
And she was just like, my father's flawed. I can't believe he wasn't the perfect husband, but he was a dad. Yeah,
girl, get over it.
And then the whole, and then his, never mind, I don't want to spoil it, but.
Gus deserves better. I think that she hated Gus because Gus needed a real woman, and that was.
Well, you know, Gus' previous woman used to whoop him up beside the head, so it was definitely in the
And he's her security. This man is dealing with a whole divorce. He don't have time for you. And she's
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, honestly.
Look,
in January, it's like, I can't believe you've loved another woman. Like, bitch, you thought that you were enemies.
She was actually just fresh out of a 6-year relationship herself.
I know.
Y'all have a lot of feelings.
Against a bookshelf and nothing moved. Nothing fell. That was unrealistic.
That vanilla sex scene. Vanilla sex scene.
She's an author of like
what is the vanilla sex scene?
She has YA, like speculative and contemporary stuff, but Beatree was her first like adult title romance, but it's women's fiction. But people we meet,
is it even like one chili? Is it just it's no spice?
It's women's fiction.
Because I read that Katie Roberts book that everybody said was going to be amazing, and that was
Neon
Gods.
Katie Roberts is not spicy. She's like milk.
That was
she's like milk.
Well, people said the love hypothesis was so spicy, and I'm like, I'm concerned for you.
I hate characters that are ultra quirky, which is why Sarah Hogel doesn't work for me. And Oliver, whatever her name was, she was a little too quirky for me.
Yes, she's like, oh my god, I eat Doritos and I drink frappuccinos.
I'm so bored.
Can we talk about the boob scene?
What boob?
Is this the boob scene? Can we talk about the boob
someone
scene?
ate a whole
does
boob?
That? No, he puts his entire, like her entire boob in his mouth. Like that's what the line says. Who does that? Like who?
When Jess said that stuff in the thing, I was like, how do you? What? I have so many questions.
I mean, some people got a handful, some people got a mouthful. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying who
it
does
just
that?
was a weird.
What are you doing? You're doing it wrong.
I just had a little gun drop. He couldn't separate.
You could just say it to blackness, girl. That's all you had to do.
I just needed her fan fiction, and apparently she's got someone wrote me like a 7-paragraph dissertation about why they love the book, and I'm like, that's great. I didn't. So like,
Love Deception. That book is horrible.
I don't really read a lot of romance anyway, but now with what the 2 books you're talking about, The Love Hypothesis and The Spanish Love Deception, I will never read them.
And
I like
the sexual assault plot line. And
if you tried to do this to me,
most unnecessary thing.
Which one?
The whole sexual assault thing. Like, why? That came out of nowhere.
It was for
just read the people conflict and have a good time.
I'm encouraged now. I'll have to pick that up.
If you want a little spice, the intimacy experiment. Highly recommend.
Oh, that was good.
I prefer my romances absolutely trashy. Because if I'm gonna do this, I want it to be something that if it happened in real life, I would be like, please, sir, don't do that. But in the book, I'm like,
if you find that book, let me know, because I thought Katie Roberts was gonna be that, and that's enough.
Go read Catherine Moon, A Lady of Brooksgrave Manor.
Oh yes.
I have that. I have that. I need to get to that.
Yes, that was a fun time.
No, just
that is you don't want. I was telling Andrew, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's like, there's a vampire, and
Child,
there's
when she got it
there's
on with the
something,
Invisible
and
Man, I
there's like
said, now
poking at the
listen,
end of his
Catherine.
tail. He's like,
He invisible.
he's like,
This invisible man has a classic
Yes.
view. You turned on, girl.
I'm fairly certain I have that up here.
there's a water demon.
The
I
stone
approve.
golem. He's made of clay.
Right here.
I need
Maybe I'll read this when I'm done with my little queer.
I need the next one, Catherine. Pretty please.
Somebody
else
a
is
fiend. I
camera.
said, okay, fiend. I want to know what the fiend's doing.
Just what nonfiction is coming out that you like? 'Cause-
Oh, for
Sex
next
Cult
year?
Nun.
Yeah.
Me and Monet are about to read that.
Which one?
What-
Sorry.
You know, we read when I told you to read Cultish earlier this year. There's a
I
new
need-
book out.
Sex
There
Cult
is?
Nun.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful. Like, let me
Sex
show
cult nuns?
you. Yeah, it's
Yes.
What?
It's a nonfiction. I said, Monet, baby, I just found your new favorite nonfiction.
Sorry,
Now,
speak.
Sex cult
Ooh.
nun.
Ooh.
Breaking away from the children of God, a wild radical religious cult.
Oh, we
Ooh.
are. My notes are growing.
You know,
I
sorry,
have
speaking of
Cultish. You guys
yes,
read that?
Speaking
one?
of what?
Cultish. Did you guys read that?
I read it.
have-
No, it's on the way. I just
I haven't
yet.
bought
Is
it recently.
Yes, it's so good. I quoted it in my thesis.
Oh,
I have
wow.
to get through Christmas before I buy any more.
I had to go back and cite and put her Amanda Fontel in my little sources page because she wrote that book. So I'm
Wow.
really excited for this one.
Wait, okay.
Awesome.
So speaking of cult books that aren't nonfiction, do y'all
Mm-hmm.
have any cult books that you liked? Because I read The Project this year, and that was one I forgot to talk about. That I hated that book
Ooh.
You
No,
hate
I've
it?
heard nothing but bad things about that.
I've
because
heard-
it's not
I thought it was going to be great, and everybody disliked it, so I never picked it up.
because it's not about the cult. It's about the sister of the sister who went into the cult. Like she's trying to get the sister out of a cult. You don't even learn.
We want cults.
Yeah, I want.
We're gonna do a
Don't read the new KM Sparrow book about cults. Don't read that.
Okay. What did you say, Monet?
I'm gonna write you, and we can do a buddy read looking for
Okay.
like the book because I think that'll be fun. I'll
Okay.
message you.
Aaron, what book you said don't read?
The new KM Sparrow, I think is, hold on. It's like something fire or something ashes. But let me tell you the sentence. For one of the cult, rituals, they have to milk some of the members.
Like,
Yes, some of the male
Like-
members have to get milked
Oh.
I'm sorry.
to get the special sauce for the ceremony
Okay.
like
against their will.
Morning Glory Milking Farm. That romance
That
that
book
was
was
taking.
so crazy. I said, "What is this?"
literally say right
I
Yeah, listen, Lord, I'd have been down on my luck, but I don't think I ever been down this bad. Woo.
Her name's
Oh,
K.M.
man.
Sparrow.
The author of Docile,
Docile.
which is another wild.
Oh
book,
yeah,
but
no.
Wait, who
that
read
person?
he's a very spicy looking man. He
Oh,
holds
is that
his
the
faith
one?
too.
It's SZPARA.
Yeah. So is that the one? That's the one that's like supposed to be cultish.
No, his most recent release, First Become Ashes, is cultish, and that's
Oh.
the one where they milking the men against their will for the ceremony.
Oh.
I still really want to read Docile, but I don't know. I feel like people seem to have issues.
Yeah, I saw it came out and then I heard nothing about it because I was kind of
Yeah.
interested, and then I've heard nothing about it.
Because
I've
I
heard
liked
bad things.
the pitch that it was gonna be like this dystopian sex as like a capital sort of world. I don't know. Seems like nobody liked it, or it was too weird or something. I don't know.
It's not exactly a cult book directly, but Dream Blood, the duology by N.K. Jemisin, I think you'll find a lot of the things that you love about cults from that book.
Oh, yeah.
They live in a society where they worship a god and they donate all types of like dream-esque stuff to them, including like sexual things. So they're always donating like dream energy, sex energy, anything that doesn't involve sadness. Like if they feed sad energy into their god, she'll be sad. So they try to give her all things joyous. And there's sites that go around collecting this dream blood from people. And if you have no more to give, then they basically kill you because you're not contributing to the god. It's pretty cool.
I read the first one and I liked it. I need to get to the second one.
N.K. Jemisin, I love dearly, but also she's so smart, and it hurts my brain sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nora.
I'm
The
like,
most
I'm
recent
just
release was ass.
That's what I was just commenting on
The
Monet's
City of the Game?
video. Yeah, I didn't like
Garbage.
it.
I love N.K. Jemisin. The City of the Game.
I didn't
Really?
like. I was really
really-
sad.
You know that
I-
little
I
meme when
haven't
they're
read
like,
that
"What's
one.
the
I
season
enjoyed it.
over? Look at the 5th season. Look at the 100,000 kids." Nobody goes.
I enjoyed it because of living how long I lived in Manhattan. So
That makes sense. That tracks.
It feels like it really is someone's like ode to the city.
I've heard that people who like live there or live there have enjoyed
it's-
that more.
It's
Like,
very
it's way too
true to the
ridiculous to be
experience of
famous.
living there. Yeah.
I do understand that aspect. I think that she did a good job paying service to New York City, but I think that she's such a high epic fantasy author who can. Really
It is not that. Yeah.
And like she's trying to shove it into New York City.
Yeah.
You got multiverses, octopus monsters, magic.
Like the avatars for each borough, I enjoy. It's the
And I also didn't like the
red and white
structure.
with the. That's what got to. No.
Yeah.
I
I
just
didn't
know that
weave
if
the
any borough
storylines
was going to let you
together.
down, it was going to be fucking Staten Island. And
I hated Staten Island. I'm not even from New York, so that's how you know the book is good. Because I was
And
just
like
like,
each section,
Island.
it was
people
like
don't go
almost
there
like, not
unless
a
they
novella,
have
but
to.
like a anthology, because she didn't go back to those POVs. You just got that POV and then you were done. You got the next POV and then you were done. So the pacing was odd because it's like you would spend 100 pages, for, let's just say 80 pages with this one character, but you wouldn't get that POV anymore. You would just go to the next character and the next character and the next
It is
character.
a very strange book, especially if you've read anything else she's written. But I just it made my heart happy.
And I never lived in New York, but like I still hated Staten Island. So I think like I still understand, like even like understanding Manhattan, and like he's very much like someone who throws money at everything. And then there's the Bronx, and who's really like to scrap with anyone. So like you understand, I think, the communities of New York, even if you've never been there.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job with that. But I felt like when I was reading it, it was from a completely different author. Like I saw
it is a very strange diversion. Yeah.
It was like I saw threads of N.K. Jemisin in it, but if I didn't know N.K. Jemisin,
anybody. You know what? You wrote it under a pseudonym. Put that on her.
I'm gonna read it next
time. Be like, put that on that other name.
You gotta read. If you gotta read it, you gotta listen to the audio. That is the only way.
The audio is actually really good. It's really good.
Robin Miles, of course, was in her bag, like always.
Oh,
she good. She good. Yes, she is.
If Robin on it, I bought it. Robin, Michael Kramer, Damian Lynch, Prentice Onayemi. Those narrators. They get my Audible credit.
Auto buys. Nice.
But I need more cult books, and I need somebody to actually write mermaids well. Like, I need more like just vicious mermaids.
Mermaids and sirens never get good books.
They don't. They always get shitty ass books.
Oh, Into the Drowning Deep is another book that's like pitched
People really
completely wrong, but it's
not horror.
Yeah, it's not
It's
horror. Yes, it's sci-fi. I've read that. I read that whole book, and don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed it as I adjusted my expectations. But if I went into that expecting a horror and something to scare me and like make me not want to go, that wasn't it.
But like I just want vicious, just crazy mermaids, and it never happens. They never get their time. Somebody always fucks it up.
Well, you gotta write it.
You want me to write it?
I mean, I'm not gonna read mermaid. I don't read mermaids, so but
you would if they were like, vicious and killing each other.
You'll be the one. I'm like, I don't want to write it. I want someone else. I want to give them the idea, and I want them to write it for me.
Monet, write it. Write it.
I am not a writer.
You finished that dissertation, right? Can you got some time?
She's got it. I love it.
I did the In and Out book tag, and it was asking about like what type of author I guess you would be, and I was like, I would kill off all my characters at the end of the season, like the series.
Maybe read John Gwen.
I won't be rewriting those books. Like you won't have the Shatter Me book or novella 14. I'm gonna kill them.
Why is Shatter Me still going on?
Gwen. Main characters be dying. Book 1, halfway through the book.
They got her in a chokehold. They have her in a chokehold. Let Juliet and Warner live their life.
Yeah, I was
too old when people tried to make me read those books.
Can we get a novella with Peter and Katniss? I want to know how they doing. I don't care about Juliet and Warner no more. June and Day, tell me how they're doing from Legend. I don't care about Juliet and Warner.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No.
That spin-off trilogy.
Sahara Gira.
What was the
Yes.
spinoff?
The next 3 in the Shatter Me.
So like Imagine Me and Restore Me? Those were
Yeah. Those were, I hated them.
I didn't know those were spinoffs. I thought they were part of the series. Like
No,
I made it
so-
through 1.5 books, and then I was like, nope, I am almost 40. I can't read this. I'm sorry.
I didn't end the book on like page 8. I said I can't get with this. No,
yeah,
ma'am.
so like
You don't
basically the new trilogy is, you know how it's like all the first one's all from Juliet's perspective, the next 3 are it's dual perspective, so you get
Yes.
Warner's and everybody, and it's like supposed to be, you get more world building in it, I guess, but the ending was fan service. So
Yeah. The last couple books, you could tell she was just writing it because the fans.
yeah,
They will not leave her alone. They will not leave her alone.
Okay,
She
so
said,
then go write some fanfic on some forum and enjoy yourself. It's fine.
Mess.
It's cool.
I'm gonna kill him.
Well, on that note, feel free to answer any of the questions down below, or let us know how your year has been with anticipated releases, or any ones you're excited for next year. But that's it for us. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.